Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So let's get started. I am shuffling cards. It's been a mad effing rush today. Kind of, but not. Kind of, but not. I think it's just my own energy, right? So when I asked what we're going to be talking about, what I heard is, so it begins. I hope that's a really good thing. It feels like it's a good thing. It genuinely feels like quite possibly the best thing. The best thing ever. Best thing ever. I'm just saying, we gotta call it how we feel it, right? We gotta call it how we feel it. Okay. We gotta just breathe this out. So much energy, so much potential today. And I think a lot of what's happening right now is about the awareness of that potential, the awareness of how the different things that have been trying to load and trying to happen for you, they're actually in the starting stages of coming to full fruition, like full fruition. So you just got to breathe this out, okay? Okay. That makes sense. So it begins, right? Oh, we need one more. Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. This was a card that I totally had in mind, and it didn't come out at first, but then I was short one card because, my OCD and borderline. It needed that extra card, and it just happens to be that. I love that. I love that a lot. Are you willing to put the work in? That's the question. Are you willing to put the work in? Because if you're willing to put the work in, guess what, baby boo? Guess what? If you're willing to put the work in, what happens? Do you want me to answer that for you? Do you know what happens? What am I doing to my freaking phone? Okay. You know what happens? Big things happen. Big things happen. All of the components that you need are already being given to you. And whatever else you need to do, make sure you do it. I cannot emphasize that enough. The potential is there, but potential is merely potential unless you're willing to actually do what needs to be done. Are you willing to do it? Because if you're willing to do it, big things are about to happen. Big things. So right now, your energy is being condensed, right? Your energy is being brought into a space of condension, a space of solidification, a space of slower movement and more expansion. Think of how water can become evaporated. It can be steam, it can be liquid, and it can be frozen, right? Which one carries the most tangible, most easily witnessed density? The frozen one. So you need to make sure what you're allowing to be frozen in your field so that it can be prepared for the party, right? Because it feels like there's a party that's kind of being prepared, pushed forward for you. You need to make sure everything that's in there is nothing but your power and your intention. Don't allow anything to derail you. Don't allow anything to distract you. Don't allow any of your triggers to be left out in the open for people to trigger you. And then what happens when you're triggered? All of your energy is wasted. All of that potential is wasted. So the most powerful thing that you could probably do is be careful about not taking responsibility for the way your energy is being used. That's powerful. Oh, I get it. I get it. So there was something that was loaded onto my sled. Oh, fucking A, I can't show you. I can't show you because, hold on. I forgot to restart my laptop. Okay, so I'll show you. I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you something. Oops, cancel this. I will like literally just show you. Hold on. Here. So today something was loaded for me, right? Let me show you what was loaded. It was a potential, nothing but a potential. This wasn't even on my set. That's what was loaded. So I was like, okay, old Jim, I know I could do 12 plates of 45. Let's go ahead and just do 5 on each side, making it 10, right? Let's do 5 on each side, and then let's see how that feels because I was already tired. I did 10 plates, 1 rep, and I was like, bitch, this is easy. So then what did I do? How many is that? 2, 4, 6, 7. I did 7 45-pound plates plus an extra 100 pounds on top. That came out to 883 pounds if you include the weight of the sled. So I was like, girl, you really gonna do that? Are you really gonna do that? You're fucking crazy. You're crazy. You're old ass. That's what I was saying. And then I was like, you know, let me just go ahead and do what I need to do. And as I do what I need to do, I will adjust. The potential is there. What I do with that potential is completely up to me. So as I'm sitting there, thinking of what I'm going to do with that potential, guess what happened? There was this lady. We'll just call her a lady. So I'm like, I'm there. The peach is covering the lady that was sitting there, mad dogging me, acting as though I'm full of shit and I can't lift that. So guess what? I stared at her ass through my legs while I lifted that shit 2 sets. What are you going to do with the potential? What are you going to do with the potential that's loaded? What are you going to do with the potential that's loaded? And I know I could do way more than that. I know I could probably put on about 4 more plates of 45 if I'm going to do like max out at maybe 1 or 2 reps. What are you going to do with that potential? You're going to let someone outside of you convince you can't do something you haven't even attempted yet? For those who are not familiar with gym stuff, just because you can lift a certain amount at one gym does not mean you will lift that same amount at another gym. Different environment, different machines, different feel, just like in life. Whatever environment you enter into, that's the environment you need to be focused on, not what you did in your other environment, not what you've been able to do before and expecting to do now. Show yourself what you can do in your current environment, right? Show yourself what you can do in your current environment. But here's the thing, there was something outside of me trying to trigger me. Will I allow myself to be triggered? Will I allow myself to enter into this mindset of this person outside of me, a complete stranger, doesn't believe in me? So maybe I can't do it. I was like, bitch, I'm going to stare at you while I do it. No expression on my face, just staring at her. We were locked eye to eye. Like, my little elven ass can lift this shit. And then, I went and did standing hamstring curls. Humbling. So fucking humbling. It was 10 pounds on that. 10 pounds. 10 pounds plus the 3 pounds for the machine. I did 2 sets, and after the second set, I had to text my husband like, I can't move. I'm stuck here. I cannot move. And he goes, do you need me? Possibly. Give me a moment. My hamstrings are so cramped up, I cannot leave the machine. And that's okay. That's okay. Because what's happening right now is you're being made aware of the parts of you that need more strengthening. Something massive is beginning in your life. Yes, I've grown my hamstrings, but they're far weaker than my quads. I'm very quad dominant. The front of my legs are very dominant muscles. I don't even intentionally work those out like isolated workouts for the quads because it will take over everything. So even without working it out, I'm seeing all sorts of separation in my legs. I'm like, you fine. I'm not going to need to continue to work you out when I know you're already strong. So a lot of my focus is on my posterior chain. That's what's weak on me. If you look at where you're strong within your life, just keep doing what you're doing there. You don't have to put additional emphasis because it puffs up your ego and makes you feel good. Instead, work on the things that make you feel small, the things that are very atrophied, the things that are limiting you. I could lift way heavier if I strengthen my posterior chain even more. It's getting strong. It is. It's getting strong, but it needs to be focused on more. Every workout, there's something focused on a component of my posterior chain, usually my hamstrings and my glutes, because I need that. It's not for aesthetics. See, I know that lady was looking at me because she thought that I was doing something for aesthetics. No, babe. Nothing I do is for aesthetics. Everything I do is very intentional for a very specific outcome. It's very intentional. So you need to become very intentional in your life. I was on the treadmill and Michael and I were having a conversation. He told me to write it down. Can you remind me what you said? Because what were we talking about? Was it in quick notes? I don't know. I don't know, sir. Oh, here. Your peace is not determined by what you have the willpower to avoid. Rather, your peace is created and sustained indefinitely by what you choose to allow and what you choose to bring to fruition with focused intent. You got to be focused. Something's beginning for you. If you can be focused, maybe you need someone to point a little something out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not a sign of weakness. Being open to the words of others, the perception, perspective of others, anything outside of you, being open to that. That's a potentiality expander. For people who think they know everything, people who are so hell-bent on believing that their perception, their opinion, their stance is the right stance, it is the correct stance, it is the only stance, you go right ahead. I'm not even going to correct you, but standing outside of you, because I can see what you can't as a first person perspective. I can see it. You can't see it. I can. I don't need to share it with you. You don't want to know it? That's fine. That's fine with me. Whether you succeed or don't succeed, I can walk away from that. I have nothing invested in that. No emotion, no expectation. So many people have disappointed me because I've seen their potential. And I believe so deeply in what they're capable of doing. And then they enter into that space that I described where they think they know everything. And it's not that I know more than them. It's that I have an external view of you and I'm not emotionally involved. So I can give you a very neutral observation and then you can do whatever you want with that. I've long since stopped investing too deeply in the outcome of other people's lives. I realized that's not love. Trying to control the outcome of someone else's journey is not love. They will get to where they belong when they are ready to be where they're supposed to be. And if my presence enables delays, toxicity, I need to remove myself. If my presence is aggravating and it feels disruptive to the individual, I need to remove myself. It's all about respecting everyone's sovereignty. So something is beginning. As long as you allow yourself to be aware of the process that you're in, or even just an awareness that you are in a process. That is it. You're merely in a process. That can be very powerful. Just the awareness that you're in a process can be very, very, very powerful. Right? Very, very, very powerful. So my hamstrings locked up. I was a little concerned. First off, it was cramped like a mofo, and I was just like bent over, like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Right? I could have freaked out, which me texting my husband, because I couldn't see him in the gym, me texting him was just letting him know, hey, if you start hearing me screaming, I'm safe, but I'm injured. I'm safe, but I'm injured, because immediately my mind went back to an old space where my tendons and my ligaments were not sufficient for what I'm doing to my body now. That was a knee-jerk reaction. I went into survival mode. I was deathly afraid that I would get a subluxation in one or both my knees. A subluxation is basically a dislocation, but it pops itself back in. I'm prone to that. Haven't had that happen in many years, but I'm very prone to that. I have to be aware of how far I push myself and my body. I have to be aware of my positioning, the mechanics, all of that. Always hypervigilant to prevent injury. Like, look, see this? So, normal finger, my finger. Normal thumb, my thumb. I'm prone to injury. Immediately, my mind goes back to a space where I would be severely injured. I needed to take a few minutes. I made my husband aware, I might be injured today. And then I told him, give me a second. And I brought myself back to the present. Girl, you're not going to be injured. It's just fucking cramping. Calm down. Calm down. And I know I was freaking out because I started masking. I was smiling. Hi. Hi. Yeah. I know I was freaking out. Once I calmed down, I then began to think logically. You can't really walk anywhere. So what can you do? Go around to the other side of the machine. Put your leg up on that bracing and stretch it mildly. It will release. Stretch it and breathe. Stay calm, which I did. And it released. And then I was thinking of doing some other exercise, and I was like, no, girl, that's enough. That's enough. You pass that test. That's enough. Whatever you have left, you go on the treadmill. You do that till you feel like you're going to die, then you go home. Okay, that's enough. You've pushed as far as you can tolerate today. You did good. Now finish off. If your thumb can do that, you definitely are hypermobile. I can touch my thumb to my... You're right. And then if you... I have Ehlers-Danlos. Yeah, people shouldn't be able to do that. I have really, like, it looks like my skin is too big for my body. I have Ehlers-Danlos. Why? If you allow yourself to recognize that you're reverting back into an old mindset, you can correct it. If you take off running with that old mindset, you're going to go right back there. If you need to experience that again, I mean, it's your process. It's your process. It's not a big deal. You're going to have to get out of that again. So to me, I'm all about efficiency. If I recognize I'm reverting back to an old process I've already outgrown, I'm going to halt it right then and there. And then I'm going to bring myself back to the present. And then I'm going to talk myself through all of those things. I'm going to talk myself through it. Okay, girl, what's really happening? First, you're freaking out. Calm down. Okay. I'm calm. What do I need to do to resolve whatever is happening? Okay, what's the first step in what I believe I need to do? Right? There's no need to banish these old ways of thinking, but there's also no need to destroy yourself trying to avoid one of your natural processes. My thing is this: if I revert back into a space of survival mode, I always remind myself, it's because you've survived so much. Mm-hmm. That's a given, girlfriend. You have the capacity to survive everything life brings your way. Is that all you're worth? Surviving from one event to the next. That's all you're going to do in this life? Hell no. I'm going to enter into a space of thriving. Okay, you could do that too. You can choose to thrive. First, let's take care of this little inconvenience right now. Let's address this and we go back to a space of thriving. Let's do that. That's my process every single time. Acknowledgement, finding a resolution, going through the process of figuring out the steps to implement that resolution, and then implementing while remaining open to the need to adjust, shift, pivot, refine, whatever else that needs to happen, whatever it is, whatever else. You don't need to have all the answers. You just have to know when you need to be fully present in your life and when you can go back to your Delulu land, because I exist in Delulu land most of the day. Seriously, I'm in Delulu land most of my day, kind of just like la la la, la la la. I mean, what? I'm present when I need to be. I'm having all these different visuals and just, it's a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing to be so confident in the way you trust your soul that you can explore all sorts of different aspects of yourself internally, externally, however you want to do it. However you want to do it, knowing that when you need to be present, you will be. I trust myself now. I trust myself. I trust my soul. I'm in full flow with life. I'm in full flow with a potentiality. Wherever it takes me, that's where it will take me. But there's something outside of me that has been trying. And I believe there's something that's been trying everyone, at least for the last week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. Who knows? Who knows? This something has been really trying to get you off center. It's been really trying to get you very, very confused about what you need to do, about who you are, about the people in your life and their place in your life, about all sorts of different processes. It can try to confuse you, but if you're not willing to comply, that's going to be a very difficult task for it to successfully implement. You're being asked to bring something home to you. What is that? This card right here. Your prosperity. You're being asked to allow your prosperity back home. That prosperity card was something I saw at the start while I was shuffling. I didn't see it with my eyes. I saw it in my head like, ooh, prosperity. It's going to be prosperous. But it didn't come out, and because I need balance, I needed to pull one more card. I was short, right? And that was the final card that was pulled. Your destined prosperity is peeking its head out. It's peeking its head out at you. It's trying to see if you're ready, if you're willing. The choice is yours. If you're ready and you are willing, then let it in. If you are not yet ready, figure out why. If you're afraid, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Of finally having the life you deserve? I don't know. Whatever's beginning, it's going to affect your human existence, your in real life existence. It's going to affect that. I'm hoping it will be very, very positive, a very positive effect, because, I mean, the energy feels really good. It feels really good. It feels like the potentiality is set to completely change your life for the better. You just have to let go of all of this fear, all this desire to hide away, all of just, I don't even know what, we have all these reasonings that we store in the back of our minds, reasonings as to why we don't deserve, why we shouldn't, why this, why that. I don't know. I don't know. I used to have so much of that, and they're not my friends anymore. You got to be careful about making your fear your friend. You got to be careful about hanging out with your insecurity for too long. They're like that toxic friend that always adversely affects you if you hang out with them too long. Do you guys have that one friend who secretly dislikes you? They get upset when you share some type of success, when you share something good that's happened. They get all bothered, but they won't say it. You can tell. They roll their eyes when they think you're not looking. The conversation, it's almost like they're not paying attention. They're kind of just like, oh, oh, yeah. And they don't even know what you're talking about. They've tuned you out because they can't stand hearing about good things happening for you. I mean, you're more than willing to celebrate them genuinely. So it's not a mutually beneficial connection, right? It's like that. Your insecurity is that one friend that's so jealous and so afraid of being left behind, yet they don't want to put any effort into their own journey. They just want to make sure you don't succeed beyond what they're comfortable seeing you do. That's unfortunate. I have so much gratitude for being fully in my Capricorn energy. I have so much gratitude for being baked in a Scorpio oven, having a Capricorn Venus. Mars as my soul planet, all of these different components that have come together to make it easy for me to live my life with gratitude and let go of allegiances that just serve to weigh me down and make my process harder. Like, I still love you, but you're out. You're out. I'm good. I'm so good off that kind of shit. I really am. I'm like, I can't emphasize it enough. I'm so good off those type of connections where I feel like I can't share anything with them. I feel like if I share something, even a little thing, um, it's gonna be seen as me like gloating and bragging and like just I don't fucking care. Go exist somewhere else. That's how I feel about those type of things. Like I remember months ago when I was doing my personal trainer certification through NASM. Um, like I got a 97 in my proctored exam. I got a 97. That was a big deal. The fucking information is ridiculous. I'm sorry, you need all this information to do personal training? Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the three wise men and children in the manger. The children were their children, animals, the animals in the manger. It was just like so extensive. Like, what the fuck? Right? But I got a 97. And there was this person who I would have loved to be able to share that with them and celebrate together. Be like, look, how amazing, right? I didn't even mention anything. Even till now. Actually, I just went away. I went away. I haven't spoken to them. I haven't responded to anything. I'm just kind of like, because I can feel the very, very few times that they've reached out. I could feel it was testing to see, can I reel you back in? Can I put you under my thumb and guilt you for existing? Can I use my control over you due to your obligatory type of people pleasing around me? Can I use that influence over you, seeing you kind of squirm as a way to fluff myself even more? And I was just like, fuck it, go exist somewhere else. I just whatever. I don't need to share anything in my life. I have an amazing family. I have amazing friends who are basically family. I have an amazing community. And my life is full. It's full. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's not lacking anything. Right? Get to that space where you feel that your life is not lacking anything, no matter what your bank account is, because life is more than just about money. It's more than just about money. When you do what you love and you put your entirety of energy, of intention, all the goodness in you in what you love, amazing things happen. It can be taken real fucking far. Real far. Every business that I've had, especially the ones that I closed down, they were an embodiment of me. That's why everything I do, it carries with it the potential to be ridiculously successful. Literally anything I do. Why? Because I won't do anything that I only am into half-ass. Start living your life with both your ass cheeks involved. I'm serious. Why live life half-assed? You have two ass cheeks. Involve them both. Involve both your ass cheeks. Seriously. Like, what does that mean? Okay, so I had some cockamamie idea that I really do want to do a fitness competition, right? I don't want to just do bikini. That's still something you have to really work fucking hard to do. I want to do figure, which is even fucking harder. And they're like, wait, blah, blah, blah. And because of certain things, my brother was supposed to be my trainer, which he still is. He's still my coach, but he sees me in a different way, right? He trains champions. He trains fucking champions. His girls go to Olympia. You can't apply for that. You have to earn your pro card, then you have to be invited. His girls end up in Olympia. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You train everybody but me, right? But here's the thing. He doesn't waste his time on me because why? Because I tried to be manipulative a couple of weeks back. I tried to guilt trip him. I wasn't even fucking around. I was just like, we're on FaceTime. I'm like, how you gonna fucking train everyone except the one person who asked you? That's a fucking man. Like, that's bullshit. He goes, shut up. You know how to work out. He believes that I know exactly what to do. Remember what I said about how, like, you can't see yourself clearly because you're seeing from first person perspective? You can't see yourself clearly. So I don't see that. I was so insecure about potentially doing the wrong thing, and I didn't want setbacks. So what did I do? I involved both my ass cheeks by what? Investing the money to become certified by the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I didn't even know that was a big deal. My brother was like, yeah, go get certified. I was like, fuck yeah, so you're my coach. He goes, yeah, no, you should get certified. Yeah. Yep. Live life, both ass cheeks involved. Both. And then watch as everything transforms. Everything is about to transform. You need to make sure you have all the different components that are necessary, right? That are necessary. Berta commented recently, like, it was about time that I left Planet Fitness. For real. See, if you want to stay in the same environment, knowing you've already capped out on your growth in that environment, you're not going to grow any further. You're just not. So I needed to do what was uncomfortable and put myself in a new environment, new gym, new people. I'll tell you, even the old people, they look like they're in their 70s, their 80s. They're ripped as fuck in this gym. Like, bitch, do you not eat any carbs? They look hella fit. I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. They have the equipment. They have the people who are testosterone fueled. Very testosterone fueled people. And that's where I need to be, in that type of environment. Because that affects you. Your environment affects you. If you are hanging around people who are very comfortable remaining in a mediocre space, you will be very comfortable remaining in a similar mediocre space. If that's what you want, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want more in life, there's a lot wrong with that. Pretending you're not aware is not going to do anything. It's just not. It's not going to do anything. You have to allow yourself to feel what needs to be felt so you can make the decisions that you need to make. I think for some of us, we need to feel all of these really dense, almost negative types of feelings to get to a space where we commit to our decision, right? We need that. Old gym, not a lot of people go to that old gym. I love it. I love that. And the people that I did interact with were lovely people. But here's the reality. Quite a few had come up to me over the last several months at that old place, talking about how, like, wow, all this growth and yada, and, just really being complimentary. But in my mind, it's like, so I feel like I'm still very much out of shape. I'm in a bulking state. So I'm extra athletic fluff. Athletic fluff. I am. And it makes me feel some type of way. And if people are viewing me in this space where, like, I'm nowhere near competition ready, and you think that's like the pinnacle, I'm in the wrong space. I am. Because if what I want to do is extremely competitive, and it is real fucking competitive, I need to be in an environment where even those people are side eyeing me, trying to low key compete with me. And I don't give a fuck if you want to compete or not. But being in that environment is going to make me have the mindset I need to have to push myself. I love the fact that I'm extra fluffy right now and I'm surrounded by hella lean, built people. I'm like, fuck you. I'm gonna shoulders like that, bitch. Give me 3 months. Your quads. Fuck yeah. Every time I work out at this new gym, it's like, ooh, girl, hell yeah. Yep. We're going to tweak the workout a little bit because we need to, just like that. Put yourself in an environment that puts you in the right headspace. I could have continued to exist in a space of ego and stay at the old gym because people fluff my ego there. I think at the old gym, I'm the one who lifts the heaviest, including with the men. Only thing I can't outlift the men is I just got really weak pecs. I'm trying. I'm trying. But pretty much everything else, I could outlift, out press, out deadlift, out everything, even the men. That don't do anything for me. That doesn't do anything for me. You're going to be in your ego, going to a new place, a new gym. Everyone's more fit. Oh my God. Oh my. I don't give a shit. I'm bulking. I don't care. But I do like the inspiration, right? So if you're going to allow yourself to really allow what is happening, the potentiality to start, you're probably going to be in a space where you don't feel as fortified. It's normal, right? If you are a big fish in a small pond, there's no room for growth. If you are that same big fish in the ocean, you feel really small, exponential potentiality. Exponential potentiality. Be uncomfortable for a little bit, right? You can't depend on your emotions to guide you during this period. You're not feeling fortified. That's okay. Build what needs to be built to return to a space of fortification. Build what needs to be built to return to a space of feeling fortified. Wherever you are the weakest is where your attention needs to be. Most people, that's where you avoid. You avoid the areas where you feel weak and you hide it because you don't want anyone to know you're weak. That's not weakness, having things that need to be worked on. That's simply a to-do list. It is simply a to-do list. Stop being ashamed of the very process that you have to go through to become the version of yourself that can handle the type of potential your soul wants to gift to you. Yeah. The question here is, do you love yourself enough to see yourself through this process all the way to the end? What's the answer? Do you love yourself enough to show up every day until it's completely done. I mean, how bad do you want it? I flip-flop. Maybe I'm going to just do one competition no matter what happens, no matter how I place. One is all I need to do. And then there's this other part of me that's like, I'm going to keep doing competitions until I get that fucking pro card. And then there's this other part of me that's like, if you get a pro card, girl, you already put so much into it. You might as well work till you get invited to Olympia. Shit. And even then, if you don't win, shit, you an Olympian. And then there's this other part of me that's like, bitch, if you can make it to Olympia, then you need to win that shit. What do you want? How much do you want it? How much do you want it? Use that desire as the fuel for your rise. For too long already, the things that you want, they don't happen, not because you don't deserve it, not because you're incapable, but because guess what? You convince yourself that wanting what you want, and there's nothing wrong with wanting something, wanting what you want is wrong and selfish, and no, the hell it's not. You need to be more consistent with yourself, consistent in giving yourself permission to have these dreams, have these wants, have these goals. You're still gonna have to earn it. It's not gonna be given to you. What's selfish about that? What's selfish about that? Some would say bodybuilding is the most selfish goal you could ever have. In some ways, yes. The amount of time you have to commit to that. So for me, this is one of the most healthiest things. Why? As someone who spent my entire life not committing any kind of time to myself, I have to do this. Why? For aesthetics? No. Because I have to teach myself how to love myself consistently. And as I teach myself that, I teach my children too. I don't have to force my kids to go to the gym. As a matter of fact, they ask me. I'll be already at the gym and they'll text me like, "Can I go to the gym today?" And I'm like, "I'm fucking tired." Sure. Let me finish up here. We'll come pick you up and we'll take you to the gym. It's not uncommon for me to have 3 workouts in a day. It's not uncommon. That just started, but it's not uncommon. Anytime they are inspired to go, I don't give a shit how tired I am. Let's go. Let's do it. Why? Because I want to foster self-love for them. When you feel inspired to get healthier, to become stronger, to show yourself what you can do, the type of transformation that you can accomplish simply because you show up, fuck yeah. Every single time, I will say yes. Every single time, I will say yes. Every single time. Be that for yourself. Be that for yourself. Connect with yourself to the degree that you allow nothing, not your fears, not your insecurities, not the bullies in your life, not the naysayers, not the people who claim to love you, but only love you if you do what they say, live how they tell you, don't do more than what they give you permission to do. Don't even let them. Don't let anything get in the way of what this period is. This period is the start of the next part of your life. I know you don't want to keep living the same life. I know you don't. Do you watch a lot of tarot card videos? This is not intended to shame anyone. The people in our community are far different from other communities. This is not a tarot channel. I use the cards to focus the messages and conversations from soul. This is not a tarot card channel. But this is what I noticed, even with myself. during parts of my life where I'm very unhappy, uncertain, even bordering on miserable for one reason or another. It's usually something going on inside me. I'll start binge watching tarot card videos. Why? Because I want someone outside of me to tell me what to do. I don't want to believe myself. I don't want to believe the messages from soul. And so I task someone outside of me to convince me to either believe it or completely ignore it. I don't watch tarot card videos. I haven't in a very long time. Why? Because I'm willing to hear my soul at this point. It doesn't make me better. I'm just more properly positioned for my journey. That's it. So if you find yourself binge watching tarot card videos, you have to ask yourself what's making you unhappy. And then love yourself there. The next part of your life is already started. Make it a beautiful one. Make it a very, very, very beautiful one. I have to go. Quick reminder. I do have the Quantum Potential event. This is a 2-day in-person event. It's kind of like a little bit of a retreat, workshop, seminar thing. If you would like to partake or just get more information, click on that QR code or the link in the comment, and it will take you exactly where you need to go. I'll go live at some point and we'll talk in depth. I have to get going though right now. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm